Welcome back. We are now going to look at this is my goal, and I am making this puppet for Halloween, and we're learning step by step to make a professional style puppet. Once again, I need to stress, this is not a video to make Frankenstein, really. It is a step-by-step on what materials we use, the steps we take to make a puppet, and I've kind of made it simple so that you can grasp the basic concepts and then grow from there. So this isn't the end-all be-all what I say here. This is a definite large step towards making a professional puppet, learning the steps, and accomplishing the puppet in the end without hopefully digging around all the time that people talk about. So again, this is my goal. We learned last time about drawing up a figure, figuring out the materials which I have around. We've dyed Antron fleece, which you can do later on, but we just because the way I have to take these videos, I've dyed the Antron fleece the green that I wanted and showed how to do that. So now we're on to using paper. I always use paper to get an idea of what I want to do with my like the shape that I want the foam, and see if that works for me. Other people don't. Some just go right towards the foam and attack it, which is fine. I just don't like wasting expensive materials if I can use a cheaper material to get the same results and that sort of thing. So that is something that I am, going to show you right now. This paper I buy off rolls, but you can go into a post office and get postal paper. I like it because it comes in big sheets. You can cut out large size patterns without trying to piece together little bits, and it's pretty reasonably cheap, and you get quite a bit. So it's not a bad thing compared to wasting foam or whatever else. So that's what I used. We'll be using this later. But when I look at my pictures, I always try to figure out the basic shape. So the basic shape on this puppet is kind of like a cylinder, really. All these extra little goopy areas that stand out further, it's going to be larger at the top and larger at the bottom. I will be adding separately later on. I will not be adding it now. So it is important that you figure out. It could be a circle. It could be a more of an oval shape face. It could be a round circle shape. But figure out the basic shape of the head. That's the key to breaking things down. That's what I like to do. I like to break it down to simple, common shapes, and then I start putting it all together and building it up, which we will see. So again, my whole thought goes cylinder, which is, not too far off. So what I did was start with basically a rectangle, because when we roll the rectangle into a circle, it will you'll end up with a cylinder. Duh. So I figured out how large I wanted the puppet, and I basically measured it out. Nothing fancy. I don't use a lot of rulers to measure exact sizes unless I have to. I just kind of said I want the head to be, this big, about this round, and I just drew rectangles until I figured out about the size that I wanted. And this is what I came to. I sketched on the face that I'm planning to put on about accurate size so that I have an idea whether this is going to work. And then I use my trusty old tape, clear old tape, to tape it in certain areas to hold it together. Yes, should. I agree with you. Eyeball measures are often the best. Not everybody agrees with me, but I just eyeball it, and I get a good idea. Hey, Lace is here. Okay, so I will, just for demo here, I've already taped it, but I'm going to put on some tape to show you where I'm going to go with this. Now, I'm a little bit stuck, to be quite honest, because I create as I go sometimes. I'm finding it hard and struggling with even your eyeballs don't measure very well. I'm not great at always having the right answer right away. I have to sometimes experiment. So here he is, and I cut a slit in where I think his mouth should go, and you can almost start seeing it looking pretty good with the picture. Okay? I also cut out circles. Now this is where I might be changing my mind. So I'm not staying stuck in the mud on this one. I did circles at each end. For the top, I cut out the middle because that's where my hand's going to enter at the bottom base of the neck. Now I'm making the neck rather skinny than maybe most puppets because I want a really skinny, thin neck. I want my hand to slide in quite tight and then use it. So we will go from there and from the top. Just like that. Okay? But I was also thinking that I might want it a little more like a brick shape, which is kind of what... Yes. How do you know the size of your puppet will be? Well, I used my mouth plate a bit as a guide. This isn't actually it. This is the mouth plate size I determined. Now, you can do the mouth plate after as well. I mean, I did say I like to start with the mouth plate, but sometimes it changes in the process. Okay? So, I had planned on a round one, a round mouth, a half circle. But now I'm planning on, here it is. Here's the actual size that I had planned, and it does fit nicely. Mostly the mouth plate will fit, and if it doesn't fit, you just cut it down. That's why we start with paper, and we figure it out a bit, or we tweak it, okay, to meet the main face. But I like to start because it does form the shape. Now, like I said, I'm debating whether I should go brick form, so his head's a little more like a brick shape. So I will have to change the mouth plate from this to more of a rectangular shape with rounded corners. Okay? And I will also have to change my bottom and my top shapes of foam accordingly so that it will fit the shape that I want. So the mouth plate plays a big role in partially in the proper shape of the face. Okay? But I'm going to think about it as I make this. Yeah, I like the brick shape idea as well. I agree. So that might be the route I'm going. So again, there's never a right or wrong answer when making, yeah, a square jaw. Exactly. Thank you. Not a brick jaw, but a square jaw. Square shape plastic that I will be using. So the creative process of making puppets, it can change as you go. And that's the great thing about it. I don't ever stick to one plan unless I'm commissioned to do it, and that's the expectation. But when I'm just enjoying the process and I have a free-for-all, I will always stick to being creative. So I'm going to experiment with that. Yeah, stick doesn't stick to anything. That's a good way to put it, Should. So, like I said, this may change, but I can still now proceed knowing that all these pieces fit together. I know the top